Good morning. It's November 3rd. It's election day. Oh my God, right? I've been missing this week because I had a medical procedure that wasn't serious. I had a lot of sun damage lasered off of me, and it's much better, but my neck is still kind of red. So I'm back. Today is called Crucial Election. And the subtitle of this video is Joe Biden Wins the Presidency from His Basement. And I hope somebody writes a book with that title because I think it's great. It's not going to be me. Welcome to My Left Ear. I am Carrie Freeman. I'm what I consider the writer, producer, director of My Left Ear. And My Left Ear means I get readings, I get information, I read energy, and it comes through this side, my left ear. But I had a subscriber write to me, and she thought I meant that I actually hear voices, and I do not hear voices. And I want to say, thank God, because I might be schizophrenic if I did. No, these are just like sentences that come in. My opinions are my own, because there's a lot of opinions today. And I want to thank you for the most wonderful notes that I've received and subscriptions. To introduce myself, because maybe there are first-time watchers here, I do psychic coaching. I've been doing therapeutic hypnosis to help people with issues and problems for over 20 years. And I coach writing and performance because I have professional background in both of those things. So if anybody does want to reach me, my email is carriesleftear@gmail.com. No apostrophes. carriesleftear@gmail.com. So first thing I want to say, it's very simple. I think the Biden-Harris campaign has been like perfect, exquisite. The management around this campaign, aside from both candidates who are wonderful, has just been just exquisite. What can I say? And Joe has been acting as if he's president already. And I love that. So I want to say Trump's move tonight to the White House from a hotel is a telegraph, because it doesn't mean he means he's not preparing for a gigantic celebration. So move to the White House. Now a big wall goes up again, and people are a little freaked out about it. And I'll tell you, my left ear thinks it's just abject fear. They're really afraid about riots and their safety. So that's what I think it's about. And then now they're in the White House and they're in a controlled environment. And I have read that they've invited like 400 people to watch the elections and watch him tank, I say, with a smile. I'll tell you something about my left ear. I was doing the dishes 2 nights ago, and Beau Biden like just came in, and for some reason I will get information and visits while I'm doing the dishes, while I'm around water. And I was shocked because I don't channel that much, a little bit. And he just said he's on it. He's watching his dad. He's protecting this. And I think Joe Biden knows that. And I know that Beau Biden is the wind beneath his wings. It's very beautiful. Now, if I haven't talked about this before, and I don't think I have, there's a gentleman who's been a history professor for many, many years at the same university. I didn't write down the name of the university. His name is Professor Alan Lichtman. And why I want you to know about Alan Lichtman is that since 1984, he's been calling the presidential elections correctly. He created a system, like a scientific 13-point system that so far has never failed him. And he did predict Trump would win in 2016. So this time, Professor Lichtman says Joe Biden is going to win. And I simply want you to know, you can look him up, Allan Lichtman, Lichtman. He's a very interesting man. All right, let's get to the Senate. I went way out on a limb here, and I picked the Senate wins. So if I'm wrong about a lot of them, you'll probably dump me. We'll probably break up. I hope we don't break up. But I'm going to go out on a limb and do it because I really think this is what's happening. So Michigan, Gary Peters, Democrat, is going to beat John James. Arizona, Mark Kelly is going to beat Martha McSally. Colorado, Hickenlooper is going to beat Cory Gardner. New Mexico, Ben Ray Lujan is going to beat Mark Ronchetti. Georgia, John Orloff is going to beat David Perdue. It's wonderful. South Carolina, I believe Jamie Harrison is going to beat Lindsey Graham. I really think Lindsey is a relic and he's on his last leg. And I tweeted the other day that I think he should just study origami and take up knitting. I think that's what Lindsey should do. He's really something out of the 1950s and worse. Cal Cunningham in North Carolina is going to beat Tom Tillis. And Maine, I'm not certain about Maine. I want to say something about Susan Collins. You know how Susan Collins voted for Amy, to not confirm Amy Phony Barrett? Remember that? And there was no backlash about it. She just did it. Well, what my left ear knows is that she got phone calls. She got phone calls, especially from Mitch. And he said, I've got enough votes to push through Amy Phony Barrett. So you go ahead and vote against her. We can afford it because that'll help you win your Senate bid. And I'm pretty darn sure that's what happened. So she did that. Nobody really complained. She got permission. I still think Sarah Gideon is going to get in because Susan is so unpleasant, unpopular, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not sure about that, okay? I'm just going to tell you that. Bad news is I think Mitch is going to win, but he's going to be in the minority. He's not going to have that power anymore. Inherently, my left ear feels like he's not a well man, but like really not well. So he's going to lose his power in the Senate if he wins. And I got to tell you, I'm heartbroken. I think Amy McGrath is a really great candidate, and she has worked so hard. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But Mitch will lose his power, his standing, and I think he's going to resign. I think he's going to resign. So there you go. And here's another thing that I kind of channeled. Again, doing my dishes. All of a sudden, the song by Crosby, Stills, and Nash, but sung by Graham Nash, called Our House, just started playing. I'm like, well, I love Crosby, Stills, and Nash, but I'm like, why am I hearing that song? That is so strange. And then I realized it was a message. The House is going to remain democratically dominant. It came to me that way. So it was fun. It was interesting. All right, now we're here to election night. And a month ago, I started this YouTube channel, and I did it on my birthday, October 3rd, so that this could be a marker. So I'm celebrating my 1-month anniversary on YouTube. And I've been having a lot of fun, by the way. So election nights. Now, Biden indicators are a win. It's kind of a no-brainer. James Carville went out on a limb. I saw him twice yesterday. And he said, we're going to know by 10 o'clock tonight. That's pretty big, projection, but that's what he said. I saw him later on in the evening, and he looked really exhausted. But he said the same thing, that we're really going to, even if everything isn't counted, because it can't be, we're going to know tonight. So that would mean that Joe Biden is going to win one big whopping state tonight. And I'll get into that in a minute. Steve Smith concurs with James Carville. But the thing that's, I just want to say, and I wrote a note in here, it doesn't necessarily fit in the order of things, but I wrote that I noticed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are campaigning with joy. Now, Kamala, that's Kamala's style. That's really their style. But when Kamala stepped out of the presidential campaign and she continued to speak and be public, she always looked like she was glowing and happy. And she already had the energy of a winner. And that was one of the reasons I thought she's going to be the VP candidate. Well, she's doing the same thing. And this joy is just beautiful to watch, in my opinion. All right. I think Biden is going to win these states. Here we go again. I think he's going to win Pennsylvania. And I think he's going to win Michigan and Georgia and Wisconsin. And I'm not sure about Texas. I mean, Beto O'Rourke and others have worked so hard in Texas, and it's so close to flipping blue. I'm going to say I'm leaning towards Texas. I really think it could happen. So there you have it. I'm going to put myself on the chopping block here. Now I'm going to talk about stimulus because it's still out there. People are still suffering. It's really criminal. And I don't know who to blame. I just think everybody's involved on some level. However, I actually still think you all are going to get money before Joe Biden is inaugurated. And that would be me too, by the way. Because COVID is spiking tragically, the government must do something to help people because it's not lifting. Things are shutting down again. And if citizens do not get some stimulus and unemployment, no one's going to be spending money in the environment. No one's going to buy a t-shirt. No one's going to go to Target. They're going to cut down on groceries, all kinds of things. The economy can't handle that. The Federal Reserve knows this. So the Federal Reserve wants us to have money. So it would seem counterproductive that after an election, when a lot of Republicans are going to lose, that they'll approve it. But I believe they will, because it just is necessary. They can't tank the economy. Also, the remaining Republicans want to look good. They want to look good. So I'm going to stick to this. Money's coming. All right, now we come to my comments. Now, my first comment here is I already spoke about the big wall around the White House. You know, the other day I was thinking about, I think about the phenomenon of Donald Trump all the time, and not in a good way. I'm not using phenomenon in a good way, but he is a phenomenon because this phony businessman came out of, you know, the blue, kind of. I mean, we knew who he was. And then he convinced everybody that he was so brilliant, he'd be a fantastic president. And they believed him. And so I keep pondering that. But, you know, I think the TV show The Apprentice had a lot to do with this. The TV show made him look pretty damn good, physically and in every other way, because they could edit everything. They could redesign his office, the boardroom. And to some people, he looked very convincing. And I think that carried him a bit through this election. I think that's a little part of it. The other thing is, I've been beginning to study cults, finding out some interesting things. Not an expert, but it would seem that cults are formed when people, a group of people are disenfranchised. They don't have anything, they're lost. And then that salesman, that charismatic con artist comes in. That's a little part of it, I think. So I'm just sharing that. I'm going to repeat something that I did in my first video that this election is very yin and yang. It's the dark and the light. And even Carl Jung, famous psychologist, talked about our dark side. It's there. And this has really erupted people's dark side. Not mine, except for worry, but that's part of it. And I remember a story, I didn't want to read the whole story, but it's about a grandfather sitting around a campfire with his grandson. And he's trying to teach his grandson the difference between good and evil. And he says there's a black wolf, and the black wolf represents greed and power and destruction and hurt and domination, just throwing words out there. And then there's the white wolf, and the white wolf is about love and harmony and generosity and peace. So the little boy says, well, grandfather, who wins? And the grandfather says, the one you feed, the one you feed. So the black wolf is Donald Trump. The white wolf is Joe Biden. And I think today we're feeding that white wolf big time. I think something that, excuse me, got a crick in my throat. I think something that maybe hasn't been thought of a lot is that I think there's going to be a crazy youth turnout for this election. I think David Hogg is a part of it. And also in Texas, there are stories that young Latinas are really coming out. Thank you, Beto O'Rourke. Thank you, Kamala Harris. And these kids are right near the children in cages, and they know all about DACA. So there's going to be a lot of young people, and I'm going to just tell you a little story because I haven't been around for a while, so I'm going to indulge a little tiny bit. I was in a Starbucks about 4 or 5 weeks ago, standing in line, and there were two girls behind me, and they were like in their early 20s, and they were super goth. They were in black. They had black hair, black lipstick, you know, the eyelashes, and they were very well dressed, but it was goth, okay? And all of a sudden, the Trump caravan drives down the street in front of the Starbucks. Now, I had been caught in it a week prior, so I knew, I said, oh my God, they're back? Well, the girls behind me didn't know, and one of them said, get on your phone, what is it, what is it? So then they were really freaked out, these girls. Now, we ended up waiting for our drinks at the same time, so I said to them, I got caught in that last week, and they went, oh my God, they were so cute. I said, are you guys gonna vote? And they went, oh yeah, we do not want 4 more years of this. I said, do you think your friends are voting? And they went, oh yeah, our friends are voting. If you just looked at them, they may not have looked like serious-minded young people, but they were. And I left Starbucks feeling very elated. They were darling. So don't judge by goth. Here's a story. Love this story. There's a place called Merced, California. It's a little town. There's an 89-year-old man, an Air Force veteran that lives in Merced. He's never missed voting for an election in his whole life. He's in the hospital. And so all these people bent over backwards to get him his ballot so he could sign it because he forgot to sign it. And they have a picture of him signing the ballot from his gurney, and he's 89 years old, so God bless him. All right, we're winding it up now a little bit. There are some people that had hit me a few days ago that I feel are heroes, and I'm going to mention a few, but I do want to say there's many more than who I am talking about. Just want to, because I don't want to offend anybody, but these people popped for me. Beto O'Rourke has been tireless in his support for Joe Biden and working it in Texas. He has been spectacular. Thank you. Pete Buttigieg, I don't know if you've seen him in action. This man is so smart. He's so fast on his feet. He's got a huge future, Pete Buttigieg. I mean, he has just really shown. So he has stepped forward for Joe Biden like nobody's business, and he's going to get some fabulous appointment. There's no way he can't. He's too much of an asset. Stacey Abrams, what she's done in Georgia, go. Stacey, you're another one. Cindy McCain came out in Arizona for Joe Biden. How beautiful is that? Don Winslow, you may not know who he is, but he has been making the most fabulous videos, anti-Trump videos on Twitter. And the one he put out yesterday was like the best I've seen. Unbelievable. So Don Winslow, he just stopped everything to make these movies because he wants to get Joe Biden elected. Willie Nelson has been all over Texas for Joe Biden. And I want to mention Taylor Swift. I was kind of worried she wasn't going to step up, but she did. I wish she'd stepped up a little sooner, but she's been appealing to her millions of followers. So thank you all, and thank you to those I did not mention. There are so many heroes out there. Just the poll workers, just the people on the ground. God bless you. Here's a funny little side note. You know, in my first video a month ago, I did say that I believe Kamala Harris will be the 47th president of the United States. And I stand by that. But I looked at it, and that number is a number 11 in numerology. And I do like numerology. And that's a master number. There's only two numbers in numerology that are considered master numbers, and 11 and 22. And that presidency is a number 11, and that's going to belong to Kamala Harris. Now, in my first video, it hit me that I left out some information that it's been kind of nagging me. I told a story because I was trying to, in that first video, I was trying to tell people stories about my left ear and how it has served me and information. So I told a story about 3 years ago. I called my brother in Chicago, and he liked politics. And I said, have you heard of Kamala Harris from California? And he said, no. And I said, well, I'm going to send you some information. Tell me what you think. I think she's going to be the president. And he went, really? I said, yeah. So he fell in love with Kamala Harris. He agreed with me. And then he and I were on the phone talking politics a lot. He was very well read. He and his wife came out to visit me well over a year ago, because he was very sick. He was about to start dialysis, and he had lost a lot of weight. We hadn't seen each other in a long time, and he came out to see me, and we really had a very healing visit. We healed our whole relationship. And when I said goodbye to him at LAX and I hugged him, I got into my car and I burst into tears because I didn't think I would see him again. And indeed, he died about 6 weeks after our visit. And when Kamala became the candidate for vice president, I couldn't call him. He was gone. So this has a real just sentimental feeling to it, and I hope he's around and knows. Very sentimental. I still miss my brother. Losing a sibling is a whole different experience than losing a parent, and some of you may already know this. So here we come to the quotes. I think I found some really good quotes, and I'm finding out that the subscribers really like the quotes. I'm thrilled because I've been collecting them for years, and I have maybe 30 pages. So I don't have to go looking for these quotes. I just go into my transcript and I find them. So the first quote is directly to Donald Trump. Okay, keep that in mind. The first quote. This is to Donald Trump. It's so easy to be wise. Just think of something stupid to say and don't say it. Isn't that great? It's by a man named Sam Levinson, who was a journalist and a TV personality a long time ago. Wore glasses and all this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to repeat it. It's for Donald Trump. It's just too perfect. It's so easy to be wise. Just think of something stupid to say and then don't say it. So now here's the next quote. And it is about Joe Biden, it is for Joe Biden, and it is by Theodore Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt said this: "The most important single ingredient in the formula of success is knowing how to get along with people." I just found it last night. Doesn't that describe Joe Biden? I mean, who is better than getting along with people? And so much more. All right, my friends, I stick to my prediction. Joe Biden is our next president. When I saw him speak in Pennsylvania 2 nights ago, I cried. I am so touched by the humanity, and I have a feeling we're all going to be grabbing some Kleenex over the next 24 hours. On a serious note, I do believe there's going to be some violence on the ground. I don't think it's going to be too big, but I think we need to be aware that that will probably happen, because we have some people out there that are disenfranchised and cray-cray. So breathe through it. Know you're safe. Focus on how happy you are to reach this goal. And like I said before, we're going from a horrible, abusive foster family to the most loving, safe, comfortable foster family on the planet, the Biden presidency. So sending out a lot of love, and we'll talk soon. I'll be back. Have a good night. Take care.